Everybody, how you doing? Welcome back to the Murfreesboro.com podcast. We have a Dr. Susanna Underwood here today. Doctor of all different kinds, actually, we're going to get to here in a minute. Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
I know we've been going back and forth trying to get you on here for a while, so I appreciate your time. I know you're very busy, but congratulations. You're in a new spot here.
Yes.
And what's the address here so everybody knows?
Yeah, 1602 Northfield Boulevard, and we're suite 509.
509.
Yes,
There you go.
so it's a beautiful plaza. Most people know us because of Five Senses is right next
Oh, yeah,
door.
heck yeah.
So
Can't go wrong with Five Senses.
Go there with Mitch.
See, you
So,
can come here, get your therapy treatment, and then
That's
go get
right.
something
There's
to
some
eat. Yeah.
healthier food options over there. So yeah.
There you go. And we'll get into all that here in a minute. But yeah, y'all moved in here, what, a couple months ago? Is that
Yes, actually, it's been since January.
January,
So,
okay,
yes,
yeah. Not even a
we were
full
on the
year yet.
opposite side of town for about 8 years or so,
Yeah.
and we came over to this side, and we're loving it over here.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like y'all exploded, really, because you were quadrupled in size?
Yes, we did. Yeah, from like 900 square feet to 3,400 square feet.
Yeah.
So it's been phenomenal.
Well, I can imagine you offer all different kinds of different therapies and everything here now.
Yes.
I see all the doors back here, so we'll get into those too.
Yeah,
what each
yeah.
one is. So,
Absolutely. The therapies and the modalities were really my heart's desire from the very beginning, to really be able to push the body to places where it needs to have detoxification pathways open in all of our different areas of our body that's eliminating waste.
Yeah.
And when that doesn't happen, your body isn't able to heal and repair and rejuvenate like it should. And so being able to offer the therapies that we have now really help to facilitate that true healing that the body is capable of.
awesome. Okay, cool. Well, if you don't mind, I'm gonna back it up, Terry, just a little bit. I want to get to know about you and your history. So, because I know you're basically a Renaissance woman. You sounds like you've done
that's
it
right.
all.
I'm in the wrong era.
You're in the right. So where did you start? Where was day one of this path of journey you're on? Where?
Oh goodness, as a little kid.
Okay,
Really,
all the
yeah.
way back?
I always
4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah, like
Yeah,
about 5 years
see?
ago. Sure.
Okay.
You're good. You could get some good tips there.
Hey, there we go. All right.
But really, it was when you used to write those little things like, what do I want to do when I get older type stuff. Well, it was always a doctor or a nurse or something of that nature. And I always knew that I had an intuition in me. I had just the ability to think things through more clearly and connect dots.
Gotcha.
And so I just always loved to be like, oh, what's wrong with that person? Let me figure it out. Where'd you go? What did you do? How did you do it? And it was just kind of in me. And so I went and immediately right after, actually it was in high school, and I started doing some CNA work and HHA, and I loved those types
All the way
of things.
in high school? Oh, you
That's
started
right.
early.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right, yeah.
And I love that kind of stuff. And it was just like on the side. And then as I progressed, I was like, okay, I definitely want to be a nurse at least. And so didn't love school, but I felt like I needed to do that at least. And so I could have stayed fine as an HHA and a CNA. But I really wanted to go further, and so I became a nurse and started to work in different calibers of nursing.
Okay.
And so I was family physician, and then I was with a more of an internist, and then I went into the hospital, or first nursing home and then hospital.
Okay.
And so I really was able to experience all different walks of that career of mine, and I just never found my fix. I never found my place, and it always left me questioning things and wondering why things were occurring in the human body versus just saying, oh, surgery or opt for medicine. I always kept going, why? There must be more to this. And so that led me into just being more of a critical thinker.
Yeah.
And one day, my husband and I were having a conversation, and I said, I feel like I can't do this anymore. I feel like I'm a fake, I'm a fraud. And he was like, what do you mean? And I said, well, I'm telling people to take this pill or, opt for this surgery, or I was doing cardiac at that time.
Gotcha.
In the hospital.
So you're a cardiac nurse?
Yes.
Oh, very
yes.
cool. Okay.
And so I was doing nursing on the cardiac floor, and I just never fully understood or could really back it up. Like I was just kind of lip service at that point. And I knew what I had to say, and I would just say it. But I'd go home and I'd be like, this doesn't feel right. None of this feels right. And so one day I told my husband, I said, I don't think I can do this anymore. And we were early married, right? So this is like a deal breaker almost. And he says, what do you mean? And I said, I feel like there's more to the human body than I'm giving it credit for, or we're giving it credit for in the medical field. He said, well, that's okay. I know nothing about what you're speaking about. So can you talk normal to me? Bring
it down to my
bring it
level
back.
a little bit.
I said, well, I just feel like God did not drop us off with a bag of pills. He dropped us off in the Garden of Eden. There's got to be more to this. And sure enough, he was like, okay, well, listen, I am all for this, whatever you need to do. He, had a great career, and he was like, I'll just support you, whatever you feel like you need to do, go back to school, whatever. So I immediately, this is 20 years ago.
Okay.
I was crunchy before crunchy was cool.
Oh, okay. All right. Got it.
And I was like, okay, I got to go figure this out. And so I found some really great information through a college online, and I was able to start courses right away. And it brought me to exactly where I wanted to be, the understanding of what the body was capable of. Naturopathy, understanding the body at an entirety, its entirety, instead of individual pieces or individual organs. Yeah. And so that's really where it started for me. And it just exploded from there. Yeah. For 20 years now, I dabbled in it for a couple years. I was a stay-at-home mom, and I did, I was homeschooling and everything else for quite a few years with our kiddos. And then we made the switch, and my husband is now on board with me. He's at home with the kids and runs our farm. And,
gosh. Okay.
Yeah, as well. And then does a ton of stuff for the clinic behind the scenes. Yep, so I'm kind of we call him, I'm the medicine, he's the money. Yeah. Handles all of that. So we work as a team, and I feel like that's how we've been able to be successful, honestly, to be truly honest here, because we're in it together. Without that, I feel like there's quite a division, and so it's left on one person's plate a lot of the work. And this takes a lot of work to do natural medicine. You don't take insurance, you don't get any funding, you get nothing.
Oh, really?
I mean, this is just us. Yeah. So the burden is greater than most, because we're not we're not considered a medical establishment. So these are just the path. These are kind of, I'd say, the stepping stones that got me there, was just being nudged. And I feel like, I'm a believer, and I feel like there's a Holy Spirit nudging me in these different directions that I couldn't have thought out by myself. I wasn't raised this way. Yeah. These things didn't come to me by understanding other people. It came to be naturally, and this, like I said, supernaturally. So that's kind of how it started. That's where it began, and then it's just for the past 10 years, 11 years here in Murfreesboro, we planted roots and really established a practice. It's actually a PMA practice, which is a private membership association. Okay. Which is, again, it's taking out that overreach of government. And so we make sure that everybody that we speak to, we all are under that same umbrella of the PMA. Okay. They signed for us, and which is a great protection for us. Okay. In the state of Tennessee, it's just one of those things where you need to have that type of an ordinance and those rights of our amendments covering what we do here. So which brings us to where we came in to this clinic here, like I said, in January, and it has been a phenomenal road so far. Yeah. These past 8 months have just been explosive growth for us. Nice.
Yeah. And kudos to something you just said a couple minutes ago about you get no grants, you do this all on your own, right. And the fact you all have grown so much also speaks to the fact that, people are having success here. So they keep coming. You've quadrupled in size. You have more staff, all that sort of stuff. Right. And I want to get to this later. I for people watching, I asked them to put this here because this is your own line of stuff, which we'll get to here in a little bit. But very cool, by the way.
Thanks.
And also something you said, Jen and I have been looking into a lot of stuff. Jen, my better half, she's off camera over there. Thanks, Jen. Hey, Jen.
Hey, Jen.
The human body is incredibly resilient.
That's right.
And so instead of pumping it full of meds or doing this or doing that, it's amazing to see. You hear stories about how people have, their cancer has disappeared or something off of whatever, therapy they're going through. Right, and there's, we see videos and stuff like that all the time, but you don't necessarily have to be pumped full of meds all the time.
That's right. So, yeah. And we're not here to treat cancer. Because what is cancer? Cancer is just a symptom. We're here to get to the root cause of why the body allowed cancer to manifest in the first place. Yeah.
Is that right? Because, correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember reading somewhere that pretty much everybody has cancerous cells, but it's whether they activate.
That's right. They're not active.
So you have to treat what activates them.
So it's creating that terrain in the body to withstand that, and making sure that you don't ever succumb to that. Okay. So it is, and that is true naturopathy at its finest. Okay. Is looking at the body and saying we all have fallen short. our body. We live in a fallen world, right? We're not at a perfect place. We're not in the Garden of Eden anymore.
Right.
So we have a lot of these deficiencies. I mean, walk outside and we breathe the air and we're already getting in toxins. So it's how to make sure that we don't have enough of those burdens on the body chronically, and then that's when things like disease can set up. But disease is just dis-ease. It truly is a dis-ease in the body. And so you've got to create that terrain within on a daily. You got to check in every day and make sure you're not allowing these toxins and these waste things to build up and open up those pathways and drainage regions in the body. And so that's what we're all about here at the clinic, is just educating and making sure people understand that there is other options. There are other ways.
Well, you said two things there that I've never even thought of before. With disease is dis-ease, and then we weren't born with a bag of pills.
Right.
Right?
We were not.
Or God didn't put us here with a bag of pills.
The Garden of Eden.
The Garden of Eden. I mean, that's never thought of it that way. That's actually pretty. Okay. Well, with that in mind, if you don't mind, take us through your office here and what kind of therapies and things that you offer here.
So when you come into the office, obviously you're greeted with lovely faces, but you're also you're going to see our corner market. And the corner market is filled with holistic and natural items that are not going to have any synthetics, any colors, any fragrances, any parabens, anything that's going to be toxic in nature or at any point being able to put toxins or waste at a higher level in the body. So making sure they're hormone friendly, making sure they do not have anything that's going to allow the body to see like, oh, I don't, that's a foreign object to me. Or that's going to cause inflammation in my body. Again, that inflammation is the root cause of all disease. All disease begins first with inflammation. So we have to figure out what's causing me to be inflamed. And so that's where all of these products that we're going to carry in the corner market are going to be very much in tune with how the body can digest, process, and eliminate. So if you can't eliminate it, your body's going to do what? Store it. And so those are some of the things that we're able to do. And so our corner market is filled with items and products that are going to be able to make people feel like, okay, I can do this journey. I can eat better. I can put better things on my face for makeup. I can use better lotions and better fragrances. We even have a woman local who makes all of our perfumes, that are natural fragrances coming from true essential oils, and they're phenomenal. So we've got all sorts of things to offer in the corner market. So that's when we first come in, and then we just make our way through the clinic. We have a thermographer who comes and does thermography. Obviously, that's a alternative to mammograms, which is a phenomenal practice. Learning those things.
The one you showed me with like the heat on the body and stuff. Okay, all right, cool.
And we'll have a cool screen maybe pop up.
We may just pop up right now.
Right. But so that would be the first thing that people want to do instead of mammograms, to really be able to see where there are inflammatory processes already setting up in the body, and then we're able to address those with either detoxes or cleanses, or supporting the kidneys, or supporting the liver detoxification, et cetera. So thermography is here. And then we have myself, who does naturopathy care. So I'm basically looking at the person, listening to their symptoms, talking to them about not just treating symptoms, but really getting to the root cause, education on nutrition. And we do a great process called the biological blueprint. And that's using energy frequencies for medicine. So really being able to utilize our own frequency in our body as what it's responding to, right? So if there's not enough response coming back from the liver, or meaning it's not processing, or maybe it's over processing, maybe it's too stressed, those regions will come up. If we have things like vitamin deficiencies, those will come up. So pathogens, that's a huge one. I mean, there's a couple of things I really am solid on, and I feel like viruses, bacteria, and parasites are the three main root causes for everything. So in that time, and during my time with them, I'll do iridology, face, tongue, and nail analysis, which is you're looking at all of the God-given parts that are coming out.
I've heard that, though. Like, we talked to an eye doctor not too long ago, and the things you can see in the eye.
Amazing.
And the things you can predict by just looking in the eye. I was like, you could see that? They could see that they had problems with their kidneys and all this, or something, and so you can see that too?
Absolutely.
I mean, wow.
Absolutely. Every part of the iris has an area that is correlated back to an organ or a gland or a body system.
Every part?
Every part of the iris.
Okay.
So, yep, I can see immediately if there's waste buildup in the and toxins built up in the colon.
What?
Yep.
Jen, you want to look at my eye? Get real close. Look at my eye. What's wrong with me?
And that's
I'm sorry. That's fascinating.
Yeah,
So
it's
how does
amazing.
Does the iris change or like?
It
what?
will as you heal, as
Okay.
you change things. Yeah, it does. It's probably the slowest changing.
Okay.
But it definitely will as
Yeah.
we heal and detox, as the body naturally
Yeah.
heals itself.
Okay.
Absolutely, it can.
So
but the face, even
Yeah.
markings on the face, which are wild, because you'll see like the top of the forehead represents the small intestine, or on the sides of the forehead are the bladder. So you'll see
What?
things. Yeah, underneath the eyes is the kidneys, and the corner of the eye is the adrenal. So you'll see people that have dark circles under their eyes.
Yeah.
Well, cucumbers aren't going to be the cure for that.
I gotcha.
That really has to do with the kidney health and how your body's excreting waste.
Yeah.
So, but different areas are unbelievable to notice. Like sometimes
Yeah.
I'll be sitting there with my husband and I'll look up and I'll be like, oh, the pastor, I don't like those lines in between his eyes. That's his kidney. I mean, I'm sorry, that's his liver. And he's like, what? Babe, just focus on the sermon. But those are
I'm trying to help him here.
Yeah, those are just some of the things that it's like a blessing and a curse when you
Right, I
understand
got you.
how
Yeah,
to
when
do
you
that.
see
Is
it.
you can see those things from afar and be like,
Yeah, yeah.
okay, those are areas that the body needs work on. We all have them.
Yeah.
This isn't just other people I see. This is myself included. This is my family included. And then looking at things like the nails.
Okay.
The ridges on the nails, not having any moons on the nails means, circulation or thyroid. These are just fun little tips that you can see. They're literally, I
I'm
call them,
Sorry.
I call them God-given tips. I mean, that the body is literally excreting for itself. Like you can literally see these examples coming out on the body. These are they're amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, we were really created very uniquely. So anyway, so those are just some of the things that we do in my office.
Yeah.
And so in my room, right? So I've got multiple rooms, obviously we're talking about.
Yeah.
And so then I, again, will go through what their body needs specifically on a supplement level. So they're not wasting money on supplements like, oh, do I need this? I heard about this supplement. I heard about collagen. Well, let's see if you actually need those things.
Okay.
Right? So we narrow it down to the things the body needs the most. So then I basically oversee a lot of the different people that also come in here, not just for to be my patient, but also to be others.
Yeah.
So then we also have Dr. Barbara, and she is a phenomenal lymphatic drainage and colon hydrotherapist.
Okay.
And so she really gets, again, remember we're talking about waste and eliminating, right, and opening up pathways. She's able to do that and support that and facilitate that by a lymphatic drainage. Obviously, those lymph nodes will hold on to toxins. So we have more lymph fluid than we do blood. People don't realize that. That's monumental when you understand that your lymph is so filled and so much supportive of trying to eliminate toxins and such.
How do you drain it?
Yeah,
Is it like
so
a
it's a
massage
technique.
player?
It is. She does both. Yeah, it's a great technique.
Okay.
But she does both. So she'll do actually a bioelectric wand, and then she also does the manual flow. So that is great. And then the colon hydrotherapy. I know that seems a little awkward for some people, but I'm telling you, she makes it very much a normal thing. She doesn't make it awkward. She makes it very, like I said, professional in our office. That's the other thing is we really claim to be, like we try, our claim to fame is to be very much professional because we have to keep up with what is happening in medical facilities. They're very professional. I mean, they're walking in, they're, all tight and buttoned up, and they have policies and procedures. We certainly don't want some people walking in here like, oh, this is loosey-goosey, wild, wild west. We don't know what's happening.
Of
Where's
course.
my charts? Because we don't have to, fall under HIPAA and things of that nature. So we have to be more tightened and buttoned up with information. So we are very professionals in here.
Oh yeah, well, even last time we were here and we spoke with her, I didn't realize, like you said, it may make some people feel a little awkward.
Yeah.
There were people falling asleep doing the therapy. I was like, what? And they said
because
they get comfy.
It's not very invasive. It's very But anyway, so that's a great therapy again to just release. I mean, we're talking yeast, parasites, all sorts of stuff that come through that therapy. So coming out, so that is phenomenal.
And technically,
That's
you
huge.
lose weight too.
You
so
do absolutely
throw that out there
for
people. So.
You hold quite a bit of weight just in the gut alone.
Yeah.
So if you can get rid of that old fecal matter and those things, it's it's definitely something that I recommend.
Yeah.
So then you come over to the other side of the hallway, and then we're going to get chiropractic.
Okay.
Dr. Voigt is our chiropractor here, and he is wonderful and, again, very professional and calming and just encouraging of not just the using of the technologies of, some people don't like you to push and crack on their back and crack their neck. So he uses an applicator and things of that nature to support creating that. He also uses a great technology called the soft wave, which is another great aspect of creating an environment for an anti-inflammatory environment in the body. So that's another therapy. And then we have the superhuman protocol, which is
I heard about this. Tell us about this
one. A huge one. Yeah, this one is it's a game changer for many people because it creates 3 major sources that we need to just have our body function optimally.
Okay.
And that's going to be the elements of oxygen, magnetism, and light.
Okay.
And so many times our feet are no longer in the earth. We're not getting that grounding like we should. So we've got that in the bed, in the superhuman bed. It looks like a tanning bed. I mean, literally.
Yeah,
and
yeah. I saw back there. It does. It looks like a giant tanning bed.
It's huge,
Yeah,
but it's huge. I mean, we can get.
But it's the red light bulbs
7 foot,
and everything.
8 foot guys, 7 foot guys in there. I mean, it's
people.
huge. And not 8 foot, but 7. So it's got those main 3. So it's got oxygen as well. So it's 95% oxygen. You wear a full on oxygen mask. Okay. Like a big one, not just like these little teeny nasals.
Yeah. Is it true you can almost get? I've never done it before. You almost get like an oxygen high because of the pure.
It saturates the cells.
We only get so much oxygen, right?
20% right now.
That's all we get.
You and I are breathing 20% oxygen.
What else are we breathing?
All sorts of other toxins.
Crap.
So literally, but you're getting the 3 major elements. You're getting oxygen, which is huge. Obviously, in the presence of oxygen is the absence of disease. Okay, and so when you realize that you're able to support your body with straight oxygen, and so many things take place in that clean environment of when oxygen is transported into cells, and it saturates the cells. Okay. And then you have the magnetism. Like I said, we are getting so far from grounding these days. It's sad. I mean, our floors are synthetic. Our shoes are synthetic soles. No one's outside just putting their feet in the earth. I don't care if you can't walk around, but just put a chair on the ground and put your feet, lock your feet into the ground. I mean, it's just those are just a couple of moments a day of that is just amazing practice.
So for those that don't know, what does grounding do for you exactly?
Right. So it just creates it puts back the electromagnetic activity in our cells in the correct position. So reversed polarity happens when we are constantly on technology, when we have, our phones are constantly in our pockets. They're, so many times. Okay. But remember, that's radiation. Those are electromagnetic frequencies that are penetrating into our cells. Yeah. And so we were not, look at our generation. We didn't have that when we were growing up.
No, we did not. No, not
at all.
Nope.
So now these later generations are getting it earlier and earlier and earlier. They're full of it now. They didn't have that gap like we had when we didn't have all things. We barely had TVs that, turned, the knob.
You had to go up and actually do it yourself.
You had to actually do it yourself. Exactly. So that's where we're getting so far reversed from our normal polarity in our body that our neurons and electrons, all of those are off kilter. Gotcha. And so that can cause all sorts of aging processes to kind of very much exaggerate the aging, facilitate that way too fast. It can cause all sorts of different areas in the body to go into a quicker disease state or a disease state. Okay. Gotcha. It can cause someone to not have good sleep, right? So it can mess with their sleep patterns, especially if that phone is just sitting right there resting next to them on the nightstand. EMFs, Wi-Fi, routers, things of that nature, smart meters, all of those are going to really be able to come in and do major damage and really mess with our cells in a major way and cause them to die off prematurely and to create abnormalities on the nervous system wise as well. So that helps with that. So in that bed, we have the a pulse electromagnetic induction bed in there that's a mat underneath. So you're getting all of this in one. And then the major ones are the red light. Yeah.
Heard all about the red lights.
Oh, yeah. So the red light therapy, and it's different sources. So we have red and then 3 near infrareds. Okay. So we've got 4 different types of light therapy in that bed. Okay. It is amazing. When that thing lights up, it lights up the room. Yeah. But it is really cool. And then while you're doing all this, and this is pretty key, you elevate your heart rate just so much, just above a resting heart rate in the bed. And it will then, while you're exercising and doing some of those things, you're being able to bring in all of those, that oxygen even more so to saturate the cells. So the exercising plus the magnetism oxygen light, it's a phenomenal bed altogether.
Okay, so you're grounding, red light, exercising, and oxygen high.
Yeah. All within 15 minutes.
Okay.
Less than 15 minutes.
Yeah, I got you.
So really, it's like, and the thing is we're exclusive with this bed. So we have a 40-mile
can
radius.
have it?
That's right. We have a 40-mile radius around us.
You hear that, everybody?
Us.
If you want it, 40 miles around Murfreesboro?
Yeah.
Well, 40 miles around Murfreesboro goes quite a ways.
Yeah, it does. Okay, So it is an exclusive, to our clinic, which is really cool. They gave that to us. But they had that much belief in us as well, so which is very nice. So then that's the superhuman. And then even the next area in the clinic is the IV therapy.
Oh, yes. Tell us about that. I want to know
Music
about
City
that
Drip Bar. So they do a phenomenal job at working with me to make sure I'm comfortable with every single ingredient that we bring in.
Okay.
So you see all these drip bars and all these things popping up around town, but let me tell you something. If you knew those ingredients, you would not be putting them directly into our vascular system without it bypasses the liver. Everything just goes straight into the blood. So, I mean, we're finding heavy metals, contaminants, colors, dyes, genetically modified corn. All of this is going straight into the body when you're doing an IV therapy. So we work to make sure we find the cleanest, zero preservatives, no GMO, no corn, things of that nature aren't going to be in our bags. And so we even have some exclusive IV products and shots that are going to be very much, I'm going to say this in a very careful way, but not really permitted to be in many places. Again, because we are a private members association, we can have those types of things.
I got you.
So everybody signs off on that. But anyway, so the things that we have IV wise has been amazing. It's been a game changer to add that. I mean, I'm watching people that are coming in with not, I mean, just simple things like getting over a cold or something like that, or even major things that we witness, major immune compromised. Things going on in the body that these therapies help so much. And
you have to excuse, I don't know anything about it, but is the idea just because it's going straight in the IV to just kind of like you said, a cold, for example. And I'm just throwing something out. Like, let's say you need a ton of vitamin B.
Right.
So you just flood the body with vitamin B.
And your body, and it can be flushed out just in the urine.
So you're just coming in with
we're never getting close to the toxicity range.
Yeah, but you're coming in with like an army of vitamins.
That's basically. Right. Same with vitamin C.
Okay.
Same
cool,
concept.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, I've seen this before, like online and stuff. Is there really a hangover one that you can like?
There is.
There is? What? Okay.
But I'm sure you'll never need that.
No, not at
never.
all.
Yeah.
Not at all. Nope. No, I'm immune to alcohol.
Yeah, that's right.
Shut up, Jen. She's laughing back there.
But there's something really for everything. There's really is. And I'm able to kind of tailor that. So we actually have like great communication between myself and all of the practitioners here to be able to say, hey, this is what I'm wanting for this patient or that patient. So it really comes in very, the ease of, how we function is amazing. I love being able to kind of watch what I do and then pass them off to another doctor that I know will take care of them just as well as I do. So that's really helpful.
Is that something people can just come in and say, hey, I'm not feeling too good?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Very cool.
They just have to sign the PMA. We've got to make sure we've got everybody covered under there so we're all protected.
Understood.
And it's like a $10 fee for that. I mean, really. But then obviously you're going to pay your, whatever the IV is and whatever my services would be. So, but definitely, they can check all of this out on the website. And all of these things we just talked about, I've got quick little brief descriptions on the website. So it's BoroHolisticHealth.com. And they can just jump on there and you can look and see, all the different therapies that we have and we offer. And then obviously the product line, which has been a very, very big one for me because for years now, I was a master herbalist as well. So for years, looking at products has been alarming. There's consumer, I learned this from the very beginning. There's consumer friendly products. And then there's quality friendly products.
Okay, gotcha.
And so consumer friendly is going to be more like dollar wise. And I understand there's budgetary, but listen, I'd rather you save your pennies to focus on the quality supplements than using something that is going to be definitely not as effective because of the quality issue.
Gotcha.
So you could be taking one pill compared to 4. and going, wow, I get so much more bang for my buck with this product than something else. So creating the product line was something very near and dear to my heart, because I feel like when I'm able to control these supplements, I'm also be able to control the outcomes. And when I say, okay, I know that I want, this type of, I want 2,000 milligrams of this, I'm not going to just find like a proprietary blend or just a little couple of milligrams just to suffice to say that's in a product. So I know what's in everything. I know the quality that's being used. I know the additives that are being used, because we do, in pills, you do have to sometimes have a couple of things to make sure it doesn't I'm not coagulate, but if it doesn't stick together, right? Or create or become hard. And things of that, or oxygen get to it, and the capsule, and it could harden up, and things like that. So yeah, there's a lot of different things that has been very helpful with having my own product line. And when I need it, it's right there.
Oh yeah.
And it's one of those things that have just been really helpful.
Yeah. I didn't realize till Jen's big on this one. Like if we're out shopping, if we're getting vitamin or whatever the case may be, she takes everyone and she'll look at the nutrition label.
That's
I'm
right.
like, I'm like it.
Oh,
I'm like, it's rice, or something. I'm like, just grab. She's like, no.
Oh no. Oh no, not anymore.
But I've learned as
pickles, for goodness sake, they're putting yellow dye in pickles. So it's in everything.
Man, I love pickles.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Make your own. It's very easy. But that's the thing is you start to be like, what are they putting in our products?
Yeah.
So especially supplements, that's an uncharted territory, because it's not really a guided area. There's not a lot of oversee over that.
Yeah.
So you have to be very careful with the company you choose. To make sure that they're quality testing, they're third party testing, they're triple testing their batches when they come in. All of those types of things are very, very important.
Yeah, I've seen some of those where I'm just using omega-3s because I see omegas right here. But when you really look down to it, and again, this is just an example, but you pick something up and it's like, 100% whatever, and you look at it and you're like, it's actually like 16% because they add
not
all
even
this
in
other
it.
stuff. It's the minor of the ingredients, whatever. But it just blows my mind, some of that stuff.
Yeah. So creating the supplement line was pretty important to be able to have what I needed on hand right there to be able to provide that to our patients.
So how many? So I see you have 3 here.
Yeah. So we've got about 96.
96.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't realize you had so many.
We have a lot. Yeah.
Something for everything?
It is. It really is.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and we still utilize our local health food stores when we need to. And I send people there with I have like a checklist of the things that I need them to get, and they'll pick up there. But yeah, it's definitely, and I also have like fun stuff where I do like kits, right? Like this one here is a kit. So I can put everything that I want together, and I make it a specific kit that is formulated just for detoxification or just for the mind. I have something called the Mind Mend, which has been a huge one in helping people with their cognitive function. Alzheimer's and dementia is at its all-time high. And so utilizing a specific key ingredients in the Mind Mend kit has been really huge for people. And patients have had wonderful responses to that. And just, again, the recall, the memory, all of those types of things. But again, this is about preventative, right? I'm not going to be like coming in and be like, hey, I have full-blown Alzheimer's. Can you heal me? No, we're not going there. Like this is, I will absolutely support someone and never turn anyone away. But it's just about making sure we're doing things on a preventative nature to keep the mind, keep those pathways open and clear and free of contaminants. From products and other things too. So,
nice.
So that's been really cool.
I have a question on something specific.
Okay.
Artificial sugars. Yeah. So let's just say somebody likes a Coke Zero once in a while.
Yeah.
Is that good or bad for you, or is it okay in moderation? And
terrible.
Oh man.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm so sorry.
Oh, you're egging
I know
Jen
that
on
was
over
not
this.
you. I
No,
know that was not you.
Not at all.
Never.
No.
But
I don't
again,
drink them.
Yes, yeah. But it's those artificial ingredients that they're finding more and more linked to things like Alzheimer's, to things like weight gain, to things because it's turning off and it's not allowing the body to excrete these types of sweeteners that are synthetic and foreign and the body doesn't recognize them.
Okay.
And the other thing, here's the other big thing, is that when these things get in the body, so on the outside of the body, it might be a molecule of a pH, of a certain pH, and a factor of this. But once it gets into the body and you start to digest it, that's when it can quickly turn into a toxin of a different nature.
Yeah.
So like formaldehyde is something they're saying it's basically like formaldehyde when aspartame gets in the body, or sucralose, or any of those nasty things. So definitely I would much rather a normal sugar, a recognized sugar, honey, maple syrup, coconut sugar, things like that.
So honey's good.
That's
right.
I
do honey. I do honey,
especially raw, local.
Yes,
right? You want to try to always
Okay.
get those. But those, your body can identify to those. They cannot identify to artificial sweeteners. So if you're every now and then wanting something like that, then go for something that first of all doesn't have any color to it, like the caramel coloring that's also on the cancer.gov website for causing cancer. So go to something that's real sugar and doesn't have any of those synthetic colors or anything else added to it.
Okay. Well, I actually thought that I just used the Coke Zero as an example, but like Coke has that one where it's got cane sugar in it.
Sure.
Is that no?
But minus the caramel. Remember the caramel? That's what gets you.
All right. Good there, not so good.
That's
okay,
right. So
got it.
Again, it's all of that. But again, remember, like, I also go much deeper than that. Okay, so who these guys who are formulating these beverages, right? They have panelists that literally sit there and create a profile, a flavor profile, just for you to become addicted to it. It neuro excites the taste buds to a place nothing on the planet can match.
I have seen those studies online where they do it, and it's like literally the closest thing. Like somebody will take a drink of a Mountain Dew or something, and then the brain stimulation is equivalent to
100%.
like cocaine.
Like crack cocaine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
so
crazy.
And so
Blew my
that's the
mind.
thing where you have to realize that they have their bottom line in mind when they're creating these beverages, when they're creating these foods, not just beverages. I mean, foods are the same way. But so also sugar has been modified from its original source of the normal cane sugar that people used to pick up and just bite on. It's not like that anymore. It's been processed. It's gone through heat. It's gone through bleaching. It's gone through refining to a degree of which again can be is very toxic to the body. So again, those are just some of the things that we do when we educate and we tell people, like someone like you, that was an innocent question. Like, what if I ever have, you know what? There are alternatives. Like, especially like come to the corner market because we have some of those alternatives. So we have like the water kefir, what's made locally here in Woodbury, Tennessee. So we have those types of things. We have, all sorts of fun snacks and beverages. Everything is almost all local made.
Gotcha.
So those are alternatives that we want to help and educate and teach people that it's not easy. It's not about what you can't have. It's what you don't want to have. We're not about making sure that we don't want you to just feel like, oh, I'm deprived, I can't have anything. No, we want to give you the alternatives of what you can find out there that are better and healthier for you.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like Jen and I, for example, we do, these diets sometimes when we work out and stuff, but they're, people say diet, it's a 4-letter word.
That's right.
But there are so many alternative things you can eat where you don't have to be like, all I can eat is chicken and rice. No. There's so many different things you can eat.
I love diversity. That is the biggest thing, is the body needs diversity. That's where it thrives. So if you're just having chicken and rice all the time, your body's going to become sensitive to that. And you'll have a sensitivity built up. So I do like to be very much, I'm not on with the major vegans and I'm not on with the major carnivores. I feel like there has to be a happy medium through all of this, and you find your way. And I also do very much heavily look at blood type.
Oh, yes.
Blood type is a big one. And I'm not saying it's like the Bible and you have to stay tuned. If you don't do anything, you're going to hell. I'm just literally like, you have got to just understand and respect what your body can digest and what it can't digest, what is beneficial and what should be more of an avoid.
Certain blood types are better.
That's right. More on the carnivore side than they are. So yes, then you would need to be a little bit more leaning towards that, but not necessarily like straight. All you're having is meat.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Then I got another one for you. I've heard this so many times, and I saw an interview once of a guy he was stranded at sea in a boat and all that sort of thing, and he was able to catch some fish and all that, but he said that he was craving the fish eyes. Now, I know that sounds weird, but the fish eyes were super high in vitamin A.
Oh, yeah.
So does your body, when you're depleted, will start craving weird things or something?
Absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely.
And so he ate the fish eyes, but he said it didn't bother him.
Here's an interesting one here. So if you are needing calcium, and I've seen this for decades. If you are needing calcium and your body was exposed to dairy early on,
Okay.
it's going to say, that's my calcium source.
Okay.
So when you're needing calcium, or you're going to crave milk. So I'm like, oh, I need a glass of milk. I really want cheese, or I just really want, they're needing that calcium because that's what the body identified as its calcium source. But did you know you're getting even more calcium with your green leafy vegetables than you would even close to the calcium available in most of our homogenized, pasteurized, completely nothing laden, vitamin restricted milk that is in our grocery store. So it's synthetically, even it has to add back milk into, add back vitamins into milk that's found in the grocery store because it's stripped of all those things. So the point is if your body is craving something, there's always a better alternative.
Okay.
So green leafy vegetables and things of that nature that have higher calciums are what I tell people to start consuming. If there's like, oh, I need my milk every day, or I love milk. Well, first of all, there's a couple of options around that. But first it would be to find a different avenue to which your body can now identify with receiving calcium.
Okay.
But yes, every time you're craving, like if you're craving, carrots, or absolutely, yes, that's for the eyes, right?
Okay.
You're going to be a very big one there. Yeah. But there's other sources for everything. So when you have a craving, find out what that item might be rich in magnesium. Chocolate, for instance, might be rich in magnesium or manganese, and so look for those those supplements versus eating the chocolate that's probably been sprayed to the max, has tons of sugar. Most people don't like sugar. Don't like chocolate. They love the sugar in chocolate. If you ever had chocolate that was just
that's gross.
You would just
I've had that before.
Quickly spit that out.
Yeah. Yes, I actually did that. I was like, oh God.
Yeah. Seriously. So those are the things where you go, okay, why am I craving chocolate? Let me figure out what the highest vitamin or the mineral that's in this that I might be actually needing.
Okay. Wow. God, can we do like a round 2 like this? Because I know you got to get back there to patients and stuff. But there's so many different things. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, for sure. So one thing I do want to touch on real quickly, because we talked a lot about like the Garden of Eden and how the body was, designed to heal and repair and restore itself naturally, not by my doing, by literally the body just giving the right terrain in the body. The body can recover from unbelievable things. Yeah. So we did start a new program, and it's called Eden 21. We have trademarked the whole entire process because it is so important that we do that, first of all, to protect ourselves, so people understand we're serious about this. Like, we are going to make sure that what we're doing is going to be very effective. And so the Eden 21 program is a 21-day intensive all-inclusive program that's going to consist of every therapy we have here in the clinic.
Okay, all right.
Plus, like I said, even our supplementation, making sure that they have everything covered, all in the one inclusive price. Now, of course, because we don't take insurance, it's one of those things where it does come out of pocket.
Okay, got it.
But HSAs will cover that. Some of the share programs will cover that. We actually use Samaritan's Ministries, and that's a huge one that is able to support naturopathic and all natural health care. So in this program, like I said, they're going to go through every single modality we have here in the clinic.
Dang.
I will be overseeing it as the concierge doctor. So they call on me, I call on them. We make sure we even have blood panels that are functional blood panels. Making sure that everything is seen before and after. We have a midway checkup throughout the 3 weeks. So it's completely sought out exactly how I would say more of an akin to how the Garden of Eden should have been. Like putting our body back into that place of homeostasis to where we're not just treating symptoms. We're truly looking at the root causes that got us to this place in the first place.
So with that, is it excuse me, let's say there's 5 therapies. Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Or can you come in and be like, I'm going to do number 3 today. I'm going to do number 2
We
today.
create the whole schedule for them.
All right.
So it's at least 3 days a week. That is the thing. So, but again, it's a 3-day. Many people go overseas for these types of things.
Yeah.
And so we're trying to have that ability to have something like that they can utilize here locally in Tennessee, in Murfreesboro, that can provide that extensive of I guess I would say like a rejuvenation, right? To really restructure and give the body back a fighting chance. And that's what sometimes happens is we just don't do anything radical enough.
I gotcha. Okay.
We just kind of toy with it or play with
Yeah.
certain things. We don't give it a radical enough change, an environment change that's going to be suffice.
Gotcha.
The toxins that have come in.
Yeah.
So so it's a 21-day program, and it's over 40 different touch points from all of our practitioners
Dang,
here.
okay.
So it's a game changer.
Yeah.
We've had great results. We've seen wonderful things come from this program.
Okay. And people can find more information about it on your website?
That's right. Yep. And they can call in as well.
Okay.
So that's just one thing I wanted to make sure we put out there, because that's just it's not something that I've seen. And that's just, it was put on my heart again. I'm going to say it again, because I feel like I get led by these nudges, right? And I know what that to me spiritually is. And that was a big time nudge for me to do this. It came out of, I guess, out of the sidelines for me, or out of the blue for me, to do this. But when I felt it, I knew that's what I had to do.
Yeah. Well, kind of like we said in the beginning, I think that nudge obviously is
That's right.
working. I mean, you're growing. You have more and more people coming in. I mean, you got exclusives on your machines because they want only you guys to have them.
That's
that's pretty,
right. Yeah,
pretty
and
impressive.
people come from all over. They fly in. We do telehealth. People come, drive in from different areas, or fly in, like from Florida or California, whatever, just to be here, because they know that we're going to give them what we're saying. We're going to allow them to be who they are as well, and speak to us, and understand that we're not just, a fly-by-night, practitioners. We are here, for the long haul. We have been doing this for many years, over a decade, of being faithful at this. And everyone, and you can tell it's a representation in every single person that also works here. Our staff is amazing. The kind, gentle, checking in on patients without me even saying something,
nice.
They'll say, oh, I checked in on blah, 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 and just want to let you know. And so it's that type of an environment. You can feel it when you walk in the door.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious on one thing. So y'all have come quite a ways, and I mean, you've done so much. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? What's next?
So ideally, let's see here. I would love to have the whole plaza. No, just kidding.
Oh, right, this whole thing. That'd be pretty epic.
But I would love to just become more of a one-stop shop.
Okay,
really.
I got you. Yeah.
Like maybe even have a restaurant. I don't know, like something that is attached to us, a juice bar, something more that could just, and then just really adding on more therapies. Really, at the end of the day, because that's so many people pay money for investigative. Think about all the money that you're paying for lab work and different types of MRIs and EKGs, and all these different investigative. Well, how about the therapies that can come in and actually support the body going into its healing mechanism, its innate healing mechanisms. So it's about opening up those drainage pathways and making sure that everything is flowing out correctly to eliminate toxins the way that God designed.
Gotcha.
So if we can do more therapies, more things to add on to that, and to capitalize that momentum and that homeostasis that it's constantly wanting to achieve.
Gotcha.
That's where I feel like that would be my goal for future of just expansion, is just adding on more to what we already have.
Okay. All right. Very cool. Well, dang. God, I feel like I learned so much off this one. This is one of the more informative ones we've ever done. Dang, this is cool.
Yeah, so maybe I should flip a burger. I mean, that might help you as
I
well.
know, right?
All these restaurants and fun stuff that you get to do. I'm sorry, we're just sitting here like.
No, this is
gonna
really
be like,
informative.
I drank out of a fire hose today. So.
I do admit, though, I'm a little disappointed in my Coke Zeros.
That's okay. Yeah.
Jen's over here laughing.
This
I told you.
Here, we're going to do this. Yep.
There we go. Okay. Nitric oxide vascularisis.
That's right.
Okay.
That'll help. Yeah.
No,
that'll
the NO flow. Is that the vasodilator?
That is.
Aha! Okay, I do know that.
Yeah.
Very cool.
There you go. That'll be your substitute.
Well, thank you. Very kind of you.
Okay.
Cool. Well, one more time, because I know you gotta go back to your patients and stuff. So, address, phone number, website. Where can people find you if they want more info? Just throw it all out there.
Yeah. So BoroHolisticHealth.com, and that's going to be the website, and you'll be able to find all the information out there as well. But our telephone number is 615-624-4489. And our address is 1602 West Northfield Boulevard, Suite 509. And that's going to be in that strip there here in Murfreesboro next to the Five Senses, the eye doctors. We've got all sorts of great things in this plaza. It's great.
Yeah. And come check them out. You got a beautiful office. So this is great. So y'all have done great in this place. So cool. Well, I appreciate your time. And I know you're very busy, and I really appreciate you doing this.
And you were a pleasant interviewer, so thank you.
Oh, well, thank you. We try our best.
Thank you.
But cool. Well, like I said, we'll have all that information in the description. So if anybody wants anything, they can check out all your info. If you got any questions, put them in the comments below. We'll get to those as soon as we can. And as always, thank you all for watching. We'll see you on the next one.